Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. Let's talk about what's going on today in the world of crypto and talk about this historic run. Is Bitcoin and Ethereum going to follow what gold and silver are doing right now? Let's talk about it. And let's talk about what happened to those BNB memes. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out the day at 123.3. Again, we're very, very close of breaking our previous high set just a few days ago. We are definitely still trending upwards. However, last night it does seem like we came back down slightly. But if you look at my chart here, Bitcoin is still up compared to the day yesterday. But a lot of the alts did fall slightly. But today is another day. Let's see what happens. U.S. market is opening up in the green, which is good. There's a couple of, I guess, geopolitical news or sort of macro news that's sort of important. Number one, it does seem like the war in the Middle East may be coming to an end, which is always good. The first phase of the Gaza peace plan, allowing release of hostages and prisoners, that's always good. So we do get peace finally. That's quicker. It would have ended quicker than, obviously the Ukraine and Russia conflict, which is still ongoing. But anyways, less wars, the better for markets, right? So that came out. This also came out because of the government shutdown. Basically, half of the IRS is no longer working. So does that mean you could just not pay taxes? No. It's still not recommended that you just ignore tax or not file, thinking that the IRS is not going to pay attention, because the IRS could go back many years. Sometimes I still get letters from filing from 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Okay, so don't think just because they have less workers, you can just avoid taxes. Although I know a lot of crypto people do, but just think about it. It's better to pay taxes now than later, because later you're probably much richer and the penalties will be much more severe. That's how I see it. Just find legal loopholes rather than just ignoring, right? That's my motto. Anyways, just wanted to throw that out there. The government shutdown is still ongoing. Doesn't seem like it's going to be resolved anytime soon. So we'll see what happens. But, in the meantime, the Fed at least is still working. It doesn't seem like they're off. We saw Fed minutes come out yesterday saying that they still see 2 more rate cuts, which is great. A lot of these Fed president and governors are still speaking. Today, Powell was supposed to be speaking somewhere, and then he released a pre-recorded video saying he can't. It's like in front of a committee of bankers or something like that. So the vice chair is going to do it, which is weird. And I think he has to go testify in front of Congress again. I think that may be the reason why. But at least the Fed is working, and they're looking at another 2 rate cuts. One at the end of this month and then one in December. So the timing of it is really good, right, for October and the Santa rally. So those are things we still, we can still look forward to them. So that's really good. But while we're waiting, okay, there is this fear about the dollar. This fear has been ongoing for a while, but there's debasement right now. Basically, the dollar value is crashing versus other currencies. And that is why some of you guys may have noticed that commodities like gold is at an all-time high, past $4 an ounce, and silver is at an all-time high and hits $50 an ounce. there are many people that are turning to these commodities as a store of value, as a flight to safety. Okay? But how long did it take for these commodities to hit these all-time highs? Decades upon decades. Okay? You can't really bring a bar of silver or bar of gold into, I don't know, Best Buy or Amazon or Subway or McDonald's, wherever, to pay for things. They are limited, especially if you have large amounts. Where do you go store all these bars of gold, right? That's why we have crypto. That's why we have Bitcoin and Ethereum and others. So this debasement trade that's ongoing right now will carry into crypto. You just have to be patient, especially if you're looking at what Wall Street is doing, specifically BlackRock. You know, they know what's up because they've been loading up like crazy. Yesterday, another $426 million inflow into BlackRock's ETF. This is on top of a 900 inflow, 970 inflow, 791 million inflow. BlackRock knows what's going on. Maybe some that still don't are flocking to gold and silver, but BlackRock certainly knows, and its investors know. Bitcoin is the future. Load up now or cry later. That's just how it's going to be. And Ethereum too. They loaded up 150 million worth of Ethereum. There's some outflows from other funds, but not BlackRock. Basically, BlackRock is loading up. And the smart investors, big investors from Wall Street, they are doing the same. They're getting ready. If the debasement trade gets worse, if the dollar weakens more, or simply more people are fed up with how our economy is run, how the Fed is running things, and people just want to opt out, Bitcoin is the future. Ethereum arguably is also the future, and so many other crypto are the future. What else is there? Crypto ETPs smashed 2024 total with 48.7 billion already this year, and we still have 3 years. I mean, not 3 years, three months of this year. ETPs are not ETFs. They're kind of like ETFs, but they're not ETFs. So this is on top of the billions upon billions upon billions that came into the ETFs, right? And there are a lot of places around the world that are offering ETPs. But there'll be more. There'll be more. So again, Bitcoin is scarce. There's a set supply. There's not infinite amount. Gold and silver, you could argue there's a set supply on this planet, but we're nowhere close of hitting that set supply. Bitcoin is controlled by code. You can't change it, right? So we know for a certainty, 100%, that we already mined out like 97%. And for the remaining of the next 100 years, there's only 3% left. Everyone's fighting for what exists now. Think about that. The scarcity factor is a real thing. And demand is not slowing down. All right. Bitwise also agrees with me that the stars are aligning for record Q4 ETF inflow. And what does that mean? Well, if they're buying by the billions, it's going to have effect on Bitcoin's overall price, right? So a lot of us are waiting for that next run. And it could be quite historic, a historic run, because we never had this much FOMO from the institutions before, ever. The amount of money that has flown in already has been quite tremendous, and there's a lot more money sitting on the sidelines waiting to enter. Trillions upon trillions, not billions, trillions are out there waiting to enter. What else? Short-term holder cost basis right now, still looking good. You know, a lot of times when Bitcoin goes to rough patches, short-term cost basis is in the negative, meaning a lot of people are down in the red and they want to sell out, but that's not even the case right now. Bitcoin's not doing bad. We're at 123. We're only 3,000 away from all-time high that we formed only 2 days ago, right? So this is not time to be bearish, not time to be bored. This is a time to get excited about what's coming next. What are we going to see in the next 3 months? Probably what we saw in Q4 2023 and Q4 2024. Right around mid-October is when things started skyrocketing. Okay? It wasn't at the beginning of October. It was right in the middle, like the second or third week. That's when Bitcoin starts skyrocketing to the moon, the next leg. But this is different. This is 2025. We have rate cuts happening, and we are in the final year of the 4-year cycle, which is the most bullish year of them all. So what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that a historic run could be right around the corner, and it could push us to historic heights that we've never imagined. This one is predicting that Bitcoin will go to 400,000. 400,000. I don't think anyone's predicting 400,000 by the end of December, but it may happen. Here's another crazy prediction. If we're going off of not Wyckoff pattern, this Livermore's speculative chart, and we're following that, this next phase, this number 8 phase, and number 9 and number 10 can carry us well above 400,000. It could carry us maybe to 600,000 before we come back down. That's if we're following this pattern. I guess we'll see, right? I guess we'll see who's right. Are we heading to 200,000? 400,000 or $600,000. We don't have to wait much longer to find out. What about everything else? Well, if Bitcoin, of course, goes up to the moon, so will others like Ethereum. And right now, like I said, BlackRock is still loading up on Ethereum. Institutional interest is still there. It seems like it has cooled down a bit, but still a lot of accumulation, so you can't ignore it. Grayscale also stakes 857,000. Staking ETFs are going to be a big part of the future. So now a lot of holders, especially platforms or institutions, they are going to be staking and offering staking almost as a dividend going forward. So this is great for consumers that don't have 32 ETH, for example, to stake in a node, or don't have the technical knowledge to even know how to stake. They can simply buy ETF with staking rewards built in. That's going to be a future thing. So can they go to 12,000 by the end of this cycle? Sure, it could definitely happen. So speaking of staking, Coinbase also secures approval to offer staking in New York. This was frowned upon in the last administration. Gary Gensler considers staking and staking rewards as securities. That is no longer the case. So now you're going to start seeing staking being offered everywhere, on Wall Street and in the exchanges themselves, and ETPs and ETFs. This is all coming. All coming very, very soon. What else? What else? Well, all the hype, all the CZ hype around BNB may be ending. CZ yesterday admitted in one of his tweets he should not have been so bullish or should not have been endorsing memes as much as he was yesterday. He's like, it was not my intent. But it certainly did seem like it was his intent, because he specifically called out a few meme projects and they pumped up to the moon. But today, people are noticing that all these memes are down 80 to 90%. Even the good ones are down like 40 or 50. This is what happens when you FOMO in, and then the whales pull out, right? So the BNB meme effect is fading now. But BNB itself is still a great project, still a great coin, and I think it's still going to do well, but gives you, this gives you a gentle reminder, don't just FOMO into everything because everyone else is. Invest in real communities, invest in real projects that has something, that has substance. For example, like Clash. I'll get to that in a little bit, but overall, it does seem like we're turning red today. Maybe. MicroStrategy is down almost 2%. Coinbase is down 0.77%. A lot of things have turned red today. AMD finally coming down. I've been waiting for AMD to come down forever. The last 3 days have been going up and up, up. So today it could be a red day, although I'm not sure why. There's really no reason. Yesterday was an absolute fantastic day, and today should be the same. But, maybe there's some profit taking going on. It could just be a fake out. We turn really green later on because there's really no bad news that came out today other than people are worried about the dollar falling. And if that's the case, it should help Bitcoin and crypto. All right. Let's do some Q&A. There's too much fear every time right now we have a slight dip. That's what I'm noticing. And also, I think a lot of that fear is caused by the market makers, like Binance, because I really can't, there's really no other explanation, right? Because I think there's been so much liquidation events and so much shakeouts and fake outs. It has people in the community really worried. So anytime we dip a little bit, we see this massive exodus of alts. And it really shouldn't be the case. We're not doing bad at all. Case in point, you look at Bitcoin, we're at 122.8, which is, okay, just like 123. A few days ago, let's just say a week ago, we were at 109, right? And we were at 107 here at the end of August. That was only a week ago. We are literally, what? Almost $20,000 higher than that point. But when it comes to alts, right? People just do not want to hold right now. Like Sol and Sui and ETH, we gain a little bit and then we just come crashing down. It's just like no one wants to hold anything anymore. Everyone just keeps on trying to trade. And so many people tell me when you trade, you lose. That's how the exchanges win. Don't try to trade. If you believe in a project, just hold it and DCA. That's how you win. Most people that try to trade will lose because they can't outsmart the market makers that can drive things up or down instantaneously. Right? But also, I think we have this collective fear now in the market where people just like, as soon as they see something, a little red or something, and then they just like completely dump everything. And that's why we're seeing like, why is ETH down 3% today when Bitcoin's down 0.22%? There's no reason why that should happen. Why is SUI down 3.6%? Why is Chainlink down 3.9%? Zero reasons for these projects, these good projects, to be down so much. Other than like you have a lot of people that are just really fearful. Right? Clash. Holding at 50 million, a little bit less. We climbed back up to like 58 million last night. And then, you know, again, people panicked or whatever because Sol went down or whatever, right? But we're holding strong, my friends. Unlike these that are down 90-something%, Clash is holding. Our community is strong. It's not going to go away. You invest in communities, you invest in real projects, and that's what this is. And we are going to have the biggest tournament ever this week. I posted a RSVP on X yesterday. I talked about my live stream, but here it is. Okay, so this Friday we will have another tournament, and we're going to have other communities join us. The MLG community, which has been around for a long time, they will be joining us. Turbo will be joining us again. Snack will be joining us again. So it's going to be a huge tournament for all of you guys to join. And then we got big prizes, big giveaways. First place wins 5 SOL. Second place 3, third place 1, fourth to 15.5, and then 0.3 given to 20 holders during the tournament, and 1 random person will win 3 SOL. A lot of giveaways. So make sure you participate. And this is free to join too. If you don't care about prizes, you just want to have some fun, you just want to play the game and be in a tournament, you are free to join. This is just for people that want to get rewarded. PB, I'm not going to create a second project for Clash of Clans. I heard you keep talking about it. It's not going to happen. Invest in communities, okay? And the CryptosRUs / Clash community is probably the strongest in this space, right? Led by me, obviously, and my reputation. And I've been in this space for a long time. I always preached hodling and DCAing. That's the right move, and I still believe it is. Hey, we're back above to 51 million. Do you know why, someone asked, Rajan asked, do you know why 2021 tokens are in the dead zone? Right now, you have outliers. Some are not. Sol's doing well. ETH is doing well. SUI is doing well. You know, XRP obviously doing well compared to 2021 when it was still 30 cents, right? And some of the others have come up, but they're not back to their all-time high. Because right now, this is what I've been saying. There's too many people that are just way too fearful, and you can't blame them. Because we had so many shakeout days, so much liquidations. I have to blame it's the market makers, not even Wall Street. Before, Wall Street would make moves. Now it's not even Wall Street. It's just the market makers moving markets up and down. Case in point, 2 days ago, we had somewhat of a down day on Monday or Tuesday, and it made no sense. Wall Street was still buying. The inflow was crazy high, yet we had a down day. It's all because of those market makers. So I guess there's a reason why people are so fearful and distrusting right now, because they've been burned. But I honestly think we still will have our terrific run, our historic run. Bitcoin leading the way. That won't stop. But not everything is going to be a winner in altcoin season, Okay, it's the ones that have the greatest attention, the greatest utility, but most importantly, the greatest communities. That's what it comes down to. Every project in crypto, it really comes down to the greatest communities. Otherwise, if you don't have a community holding, it goes nowhere. Back to 52. Nice. Sometimes we get whale dumps or whales taking profit. That's okay. The rest of the community eats it up. That's how strong we are. Despite not the greatest market conditions, Clash is standing really tall within the Sol ecosystem. And you know, the last few days I was talking about it. Like you go on X and everyone's like jumping on the BNB bandwagon. It's like, oh, you know, Sol sucks now. I'm going to go on BNB and stuff. Watch all of them come back, right? They were just hyping it up because they were FOMOing just like everyone else. Again, nothing wrong with BNB. I supported BNB when it was sub $10 back in 2017, okay? I saw it rise to tremendous heights over the years. And there's a lot of great things about it. But what happened recently was just not cool, right? And as much as I love CZ, he caused it. He caused the Aster hype. He's the sole reason why Aster is doing as well as it is, because he tweeted it out like several times about how good it is. And the memes, that was all him. He tweeted on several memes saying how good they are, and that's why you had this influx into them. If he didn't do those things, BNB would still do well, but you wouldn't have this crazy like rush into it and all these guys trying to jump on a bandwagon, and now a lot of them are burned. So, yeah. Our stock's doing well. Hey, Coinbase turned green. Okay, that's always a good indicator. When Coinbase turns green, that means Wall Street is buying. And it started out really red, so that's good. Wall Street gets it. The big money like BlackRock, they don't care about these market maker manipulation. They will continue to stack Bitcoin and ETH. And when we get a Sol ETF and XRP ETF and whatever else ETF, they're going to be stacking that too. They understand how manipulation works because they're probably the best at it. Okay, everyone hates BlackRock for a reason. But, you know, they're secretly just acquiring and DCAing behind closed doors and hoping that people don't pay attention, but people do because you could see the ETF inflows. But it's really good that Coinbase turned green. NVIDIA, man, AMD turned green again. I've been waiting ever since the OpenAI deal to like wait for them to come down, and they just keep on going up every day. But NVIDIA, I loaded up more on NVIDIA yesterday, so they're up in a big way. Good. I loaded up more on Robinhood because I think they're just going to keep on killing it. But it's good that Coinbase is still going upwards. Wall Street minor stocks are exploding. Fairfax says Wall Street is FOMOing on crypto right now. I think they are in the same belief that I have and most of you guys have, that we are going to have a tremendous run in the next 3 months. They are loading up. So whatever's going on now with retail or, well, you know, the market makers, and they're trying to like, you know, scare people away or liquidate people or whatever. This is temporary. You got to look past this. Grub, they do stack themselves. It's not just their customers. They have to look it up. They have said they use other funds to buy their own fund. Okay, so I know there might be this confusion when I say like, oh, BlackRock is buying. No, it's for the customers. No, they are buying themselves too. They have like thousands of funds, and they use those funds to buy their own funds, and it just causes so much confusion. You don't know what the hell's going on anymore. And obviously, you just look at it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because sometimes you have very negative days like this, okay, like September 25th, where everyone is selling except BlackRock is buying. Okay, so it's like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And obviously, if you look down the list, they are acquiring way more than anyone else. Like 2 days ago, when no one was acquiring and there was actually an outflow, BlackRock took in 900 million. That again doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless BlackRock themselves are acquiring themselves. You can't really rely on like just practical data for BlackRock. You just have to assume the worst, because that's usually the right case. When they enter markets, they want to dominate. Not only dominate, they want to control it. So when they go into a market, they just acquire until they acquire so much that they are able to sway things and move it and do whatever they want, right? So long term, BlackRock in Bitcoin is not a good thing, okay? But short term, it's good for holders. Long term, if they actually do ever acquire a significant amount, they can move markets the way they want to, that's a bad thing, right? That's why you got to load up as much as you can for yourself before it gets to that point. Like the gold market, silver market was highly manipulated by these big boys for a long time until they were finally caught. JP Morgan was manipulating silver, and then they got a slap on a wrist fine, and no one went to jail for it. Well, at least not the leadership, not Jamie Dimon. It was, I guess maybe some traders went, but obviously it wasn't their direction, right? Hans, I wouldn't say it's time to go all in on Clash, but if you know me and you trust me, then know that I am working very, very hard to make it succeed. Talking to a lot of exchanges right now, talking to a lot of other projects, a lot of influential people, trying to make things happen. And obviously streaming about it, bring more awareness to it. And the community is strong. If you guys haven't joined Discord, you should, just to check it out. If you don't believe me, it is one of the best places to hang out. And it's all for free. You don't have to pay to get inside or anything. I'm going to try to build it into the greatest community project there is. You look at anything else like Pepe or Bonk or Shiba or Doge, they all blew up during right market conditions, and none of them have really anything to bring people together. We have something. It may not be the greatest thing, but I think it's something that's different. Bay Area raise. Can you create another project I missed out on Clash? You didn't miss out. It's only 50 million. That's the beginning. 100 million next. 200, 500, a billion. I honestly believe in the right market conditions, which is coming up, there's no reason why I can't blow up to a billion market cap. What does all these other big memes have that we don't, besides just the greater community? And I'm going to keep building that community. If you look at all these other big memes, what do they have? They just have more holders. That's it. Someone says I keep buying Say nonstop. You know, Say really died down. And I don't think Eric Trump is advisor anymore. You know, they World Living Financial is buying it, and then they had Eric Trump as advisor, and then they just kind of cooled off from there. But they were trying to go EVM, and I think they voted upon that. But right now, I mean, they're not bad. They're not doing bad. I should take that back. They're just going sideways. Like most alts. Most people are just too afraid to hold alts right now. So whenever there's a little dip, people just sell it. It's not the right way to do it. Right here. Clash is the 572th largest project in this space. Take a second to think about that. Remember all the people that used to shill Doge Elon Mars? Right? And there's still some people asking about it. I don't think people realize that Clash has a higher market cap right now than Doge Elon Mars. Which I have always said is the stupidest name ever. But just take a second to think about that we already have a greater community that believes in the project, and we are only 1 month old, and we're already bigger than someone like Doge Elon Mars, which is backed by Elon's own brother. Just take a second to think about that. That's amazing. Amazing. And how many million projects are there out there? There's millions upon millions. And we are the 572th largest of them all. And this is just the beginning. Send Sailor a bag. If I knew his address, I would send him some. But I don't think he would acknowledge it because he's the biggest Bitcoin bull there is. I don't think he acknowledges any alts, not even ETH. If Vitalik himself sold him, sent him $1 billion to the ETH, he'll probably recognize it and say, "I'm selling it to buy Bitcoin with it." See, what's going on right now is not caused by Wall Street. And you could tell because Coinbase stock is positive. If Coinbase was crashing right now, you could say Wall Street's selling. Wall Street's not selling. Wall Street's not behind what's going on right now. First of all, there's a lot of dumping of BNB stuff. Like Aster is now down to 178. This is the reason why I told you guys a few days ago I sold all my Aster. I made a little bit of money because I got in at like 125. But this is rough, man. To go from 240 down to 150, down up to 225, down to 170, up to like 220, and now down. That's why I'm like, I'm out. This is way too speculative. And the only reason why it did this, okay, was CZ pumping it. If CZ never talked about Aster, it would be nowhere close to where it is now. It'll probably be sitting at 80 cents. Something like that, 50, 80 cents. But I guess he really hates Hyperliquid. For whatever reason, he hates them. He wants Aster to take over. And it's a good DEX. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's weird. Like, if you go in a spot, there's no SOL. You can't buy SOL on Aster. You could buy ETH. You could buy Bitcoin. You can't buy SOL on Aster. I think that's intentional. And BNB itself is down 4.3% because people are probably selling off BNB right now after the meme crashes, and they're converting back to something else. But I don't know what they're converting to. Probably BNB, because not everything else is not doing as good. ETH is down almost 4%. There's no explanation why things are going down today. There's no bad news. Wall Street's not selling. It again, I guess the market makers just like trying to like scare everyone out. You know, the market makers are harming themselves. It's, you know, because yes, they may be liquidating people and collecting fees, but if they do this so often, then people overall just go stop trading and stop believing, and people are going to exit, and then eventually they're going to make less money. Yeah. Manuel says, I sold my render, converted to the new render, and then sold for Clash. Awesome. Good to hear. It's not time to panic on Bitcoin. It's down only like $1,000 from yesterday, which is like less than 1%. But what's just disappointing is just like the alts. There's no reason for them to be down this much. Sol at least bounced off his 219 support, so that's good. Yeah, Coinbase is still going up. It's up 1%. It's not Wall Street selling, I'm telling you guys. If it's Wall Street selling, then Coinbase will be deep in the red, along with the minor stocks and MicroStrategy. Coinbase is the best indicator of what Wall Street is doing. If Coinbase is going up, they are buying. They're not selling. So today it's not Wall Street. Robinhood is starting to climb back up. I'm telling you guys, Robinhood has been the greatest trade with stocks in my lifetime. I've been playing options in April on several accounts, and I've been killing it. Killing it upon killing it upon killing it. I'm up like probably 4,000 or 5,000% since April. And I told you guys my explanation. Robinhood is what all the young people use to trade stocks and crypto. And they're into predictive markets now. They're into tokenization. There is no one else that competes with them. And at least not in the US. I don't know what other platforms around in like Europe or Asia. But in the US, it's just Robinhood. There's no young person trading on Charles Schwab. Anyone that's probably 30 and under, 100% is using Robinhood. They are a monopoly. So that is why they're doing so well. So like, you know, when you invest in something, you got to think about it. Are they a market leader? Do they have a competitive advantage? And the best trade so far for me is, at least stock-wise, is Robinhood. And I think it's going to keep on going. Yes to crypto. Where can we long Clash? I don't know if you want to long it. I think you could do it on MEXC. You can do it on MEXC, but I don't recommend it. I don't. It's too volatile. But if you go to liquidation map, you guys know that I showed this before. So if we continue lower, we could probably go down to 121.54. If we go above, we'll probably go to like right here, 125. But you know, you could actually search for Clash. Someone pointed out the last time. That's crazy. It's crazy that there's liquidation levels for a Clash. Thanks to MEXC. There shouldn't be. This shouldn't exist. But it does. I guess this kind of makes sense. This is the reason why someone just sold off over here to liquidate these people. And then, you know, if we break above into 55 million to 56 million, we're going to get a short squeeze and break higher. I didn't even think about checking this, but this actually makes a lot of sense. Maybe this is, we actually have really good volume on Clash. I'm wondering if these market makers, at least the small ones, or the one on MXC, is actually trading to hit these liquidation levels. That's wild. That's wild. But I don't recommend leverage. Don't do it. You're going to lose money. It's too volatile. If you're just going to buy and hold. That's it. That's wild. I didn't even think to check this. All right. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. We have 2,300 responses. It's been going up every single day. I've added a tier multiplier bonus for loyal Clash holders, ones that believe in a project and hold a lot of it. So whatever I give away, you get a 1.5x or 2x or 3x, depending on how much you hold, or if you just hold a bare minimum, which is fine, right? And if somehow Clash breaks all-time high by the end of this week, then we'll give out 5 SOL, which is a lot if you do the math. I can't, you know, it should be done today. The new webpage, the new wheel, new everything, so I don't have to like keep doing this. But I will give out, let's do 700. Ran is asking, is pull rubbish? It is kind of rubbish now, if I'm just gonna be honest. There's nothing, literally nothing going on in Polygon besides Polymarket. SCR, does any other project do this? Clash, no. So I'm gonna give away what? 0.5 SOL, okay, for 3 of you guys. And there could be the multiplier. Just depends on how much these guys hold. First address. I need my soul scan up. This high, geez, this guy holds 243,000 Clash. That means he's eligible for 2x. So that means he wins 1 SOL. I'm going to bankrupt myself doing this. Congrats to this person that won 1 SOL because of the multiplier effect. Congrats to this person. Let's do another one from 701 to, I don't know, 1,500 or something like that. All right. Let's do one more. I mean, 2 more. Well, let's do another one here. All right. 0.5 SOL. Let's see. HH. 13,000 SOL. That means he at least gets the 1.5 multiplier. So, yeah, he gets a 1.5 multiplier. So, I don't know what that is. My Asian math is not working. 7.75. Man, this is getting expensive, guys. And then let's do the remaining with the new people. If you haven't filled out the form yet, you can find the form in the description. You can also find it in Discord. Okay. Make sure you find the right form. You're not falling for these fake airdrops. There's a lot of people that's trying to impersonate me and a project because of how successful it has been. Don't fall for it. Only use the official links. And I'm only giving out Sol. I'm not giving out Clash. Anyone that claims that you go get airdrop Clash or anything like that, you're not going to get it. You're going to get scammed. And several people have come into Discord saying that. So just be careful. All right, final person. Let's see if he has Clash. He or she has it. 21,000. Man, everyone gets the multiplier. So again, this person is going to get 0.75 Sol. That's 2.5 Sol that I'm giving away this morning. That's a lot. This is like what, $800? But you know, it's worth it because you guys are the long-term believers. You guys believe in the project. You're holding Clash. You're participating in the tournaments. So it's worth it. I'll send it shortly. And make sure you join the tournament if you are interested. It's in the link. It's coming up this Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys, stay strong, stay focused. Don't fall for the FUD. There's a lot of FUD right now, and it doesn't make sense because Wall Street is still buying. We'll get through this, okay? So stay strong, my friends. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord for more, okay?